What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. All men are not created equal. I'm going to address a few different things in this one. First, you see the monopoly reference. Some people start off at a better financial place than you from the jump. So, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Look, we already knew from the Constitution that was a lie. But if you start off in a lower class and somebody starts off in the middle class, y'all are not created equal, okay? Y'all don't have the same equal opportunity. The probability of the middle class person having a better education than you is very high. The amount of adversity you're going to have to face from the lower class to get to the middle class is very much so high. So I'm sorry, you're not created equal. Okay. There are things that might balance out, but you're not. The amount of information that you're going to have is going to be lesser than the person who came up in a middle class life. So you're not created equal. Now, as you go from a child to adult, the body that you have is not going to be equal. Okay. The abilities that you have is not going to be equal to another person. They're going to be different because somebody might have a lot of God-given talents that you don't. Right? They might have passed on a lot of God-given talents from themselves, to their child. So you're not going to be equal. So you might have somebody who's better at things than you. And what I mean by that is some people find their niche earlier than others. So you're not created equal because if this person finds their niche before you find yours, y'all on two different levels. So you're not created equal because now you can go. Now, all of what I'm saying does not mean people can't catch up and surpass people, but I'm just saying initially, you're not really equal. The other thing, your growth is not going to be equal. Like, you might have people who help you grow, and you might have people who believe in you, but somebody else might not have people to help them grow, and somebody else might not have people who believe in them. So your growth isn't going to be equal. Okay? Some people have mentors. Some people have to reach a certain space to get the eye of a mentor. You get what I'm saying? So that's two different things. All men are not created equal. It's like Monopoly. And why I use Monopoly as a reference is because when you play Monopoly, everybody starts off with the same amount. But if we play Monopoly like real life, you would have the base amount for Monopoly. Some people would have double, triple, quadruple the base amount, and some people would have half of the amount that you have to start with, and some people have half of the amount, and some people will have a third of the starting amount. That's the country we live in. That's the situation we live in. So everybody is not created equal. Some people might not be able to afford to buy, the property on St. Charles on the first go around. And some people might be able to afford to buy, more properties going around than anybody else. That's just the way it goes. It just depends on, who you're playing against, which brings me to another point. We're not created equal because even, people go back to their high school, teenage years, and that was the first time when people realized they weren't created equal. You got a bunch of broke teenagers teasing a bunch of broke teenagers about my parents could buy me more stuff than your parents could buy you. I could beg my parents and they actually come through, and you can beg your parents and they can't. Ooh, you beneath me. So you're not created equal. Now, where a lot of this goes left is not being equal might help a person have a better work ethic or more drive or more ambition to go from point A to point B. A person who is already up might be a little bit lazier. Like I was listening to one of my favorite people I like to listen to is Floyd Mayweather. I'm saying I still got a boxing podcast. I'm about to get back on it. I've been sick for a few years. I had, so I'm starting to feel better. So I'm getting back on it. So he asked him about his children, and he says his son's probably not going to fight because they too busy. They like to smoke. So they don't have the same drive to get out of that he has because he was in a different situation than them. You know what I'm saying? So, but his kids aren't created equal to me. You know what I'm saying? His kids, he said he's going to get his kids get a house paid off and a car paid off. And then, so, and they're, like 21 and 22 and under. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not equal. You know what I'm saying? My son ain't, I ain't gonna say my son ain't gonna get that because I'm on the move play. I'm doing some things. But when I get to the point where I could do that for my child, my grandchild is not gonna be created equal towards other kids from where I came from. Because there's no, that's something that doesn't exist where I come from. People pass down the house, but people don't buy a whole new house. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, and some people get stuck into it ain't fair to the point where you never make a move because if you know you're not created equal, if you want to go from point A to point B, you have to accept you're at point A. I was talking to my son about that last night, where until you can accept with your situation and be a realist and say, I'm here, you can never go here because you can never admit if I'm here that you're here in the first place. So I got to do this, and this to get here. If you never could get if you never start that point, just like an alcoholic, the first step is to admit you got a problem. If you never admit you got a problem, you're never going to go nowhere. So that's just my thoughts on that. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.